What's up, everybody? Ron Harris here, MD Online Editor. Before I get started, please, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up thing, or smash it as they say. And of course, turn on your notifications, that little bell thing, so you know when we have videos. So wanted to do a live, haven't done a live in a while. We'll get to your questions about other random crap pretty soon. But for right now, I just want to start off with the discussion I wanted to get into was the whole TRT butthurt situation where TRT has become a very misused term. It's testosterone replacement therapy. It is done under medical supervision to increase a man's, bring back a man's testosterone levels to what they should normally be. Now, there are some people who are born hypogonadal. Their body's never made enough testosterone. They obviously need artificial synthetic testosterone to be given to them so that they can have all the effects of testosterone. Other people, they're either older, 40s, 50s, beyond, and their bodies have stopped producing it, or they can be younger and they have shut down permanently their body's natural testosterone production, typically through the abuse of anabolic steroids. And that's what I did to myself. So I don't claim to be on TRT. TRT has become a very bastardized term. So TRT is just to get you into a normal range. Now, normal range, there are different opinions on what that is. Generally speaking, very generally, it's total testosterone between 400 and 1,000. That's considered the normal range by most people in the medical field. Of course, some will say they won't prescribe it to you unless you're lower than that, like 300 or 200. And others, you know, they don't care if your levels go a little higher than 1,000. But it's also become a term used by a lot of steroid users. Say I'm on TRT when they're actually just on a cycle and they don't know, they're just ignorant. They don't know that what the word even means. So I am on hormone replacement therapy currently for the first time I shouldn't say the first time because I was on legitimate testosterone replacement therapy about 10 years ago under the care of Dr. Abraham Morgenthaler. Google this guy, he's a freaking genius. He was a pioneer in the field of TRT, wrote books on it. Abraham, Morganthaler. He's a professor at Harvard. He runs his own TRT clinic called Men's Health in Boston. Very successful, very accomplished man in his field. So he had me on. First, we tried pellets. Those came right out of my butt because I'm too active. Then I went on to androgel. He wasn't comfortable prescribing injections for whatever reason. The androgel got so expensive after a point. The price kept going up like every couple months. It started off at like a bottle was $30 with insurance covering part of it. And by the time it got to like $60 or $70, a few months later, I said, I'll just do this on my own. And, you know, of course, I didn't stay on just TRT. I ended up going back to blasting. So now, finally, I am back onto legitimate. I can't say TRT because it's HRT. I'm using more than what a lot of you guys would feel is TRT. And that's another thing. You'll see posts from people saying, 100 milligrams is not true or TRT. Anything more than what they're on, they will consider too much. And they say, that's blasting. So I just saw a post the other day on Facebook. All it said was 200 milligrams is not TRT. Well, yes, it is to a lot of people. There's this misinformation that X amount of testosterone administered to any male will result in this testosterone level. And that's just not true. That's why there are people on different doses. Some guys might only need 100 milligrams a week or less. I've heard of guys on like 70 milligrams of test a week and their test levels are very high normal. That's all they need. This is how their body metabolizes testosterone. Other guys will need 100, 200, 250. Some guys need 300 to get to those levels. It's not across the board. It's not as simple as this dose, X dose equals X blood level of testosterone in every male. So right now I'm with a company called Frontline Alternative. They're the same company that treats Ronnie Coleman. And this is my HRT, and I have not been tested yet. So I'm on this for 2 months. I have another month to go, and then we're going to do blood work and see where my labs are at, see where my levels are at, and then the dose might go up, might go down. Who knows? So I know you guys love to see drugs. Because this is the first time I've actually used pharmaceutical grade testosterone and DECA. Why DECA, Ron? That's how dare you? Now you're blasting. No, that's for my joints. And you know what? No, it's not TRT. That's why I say I'm on HRT. And, you know, people get so butthurt because I think, honestly, be honest with yourselves if you're butthurt about it. Is it because you don't want anyone else to be bigger than you or use more tests than you because this is all your doctor gave you and you don't want anyone else using more because then they have an advantage and they're going to look better than you? I do feel like that's the case with most of these people that complain about someone else's TRT protocol. So I'm not on TRT. I just said that. This is testosterone cypionate. It is dosed at 200 milligrams per milliliter. And right now I am doing 0.7 ml on a syringe twice a week intramuscularly. So that is, boy, I'm pretty bad at math. So 0.7, that's 140 twice a week. That's 280. Right there, a lot of you guys are flipping out. You're losing your shit right now. That's a blast. Dude, I talk to guys every day who are blasting on 1 gram to 2 grams of test, 1 gram of tren, 1 gram of deca, 4 anadrols a day. So don't get your panties in a bunch. Here's the deca. This is nandrolone decanoate, 200 mg per mil. You can see it. Can you see the bottle? And the dose is inject 0.5 milliliter intramuscularly twice a week, which would give me 100 milligrams of deca per week. So that's my regimen right now for HRT. I know a lot of you are butthurt, but again, ask yourself, why are you butthurt? Look, nobody's stopping any, this is like the whole natty, self-righteous natty thing. A lot of natties get really upset when nobody's stopping them from doing drugs. Respect your own, be proud of your decision, respect your own decision, and don't get mad at others who make a different decision. It's their life, it's their body. Anybody could blast tons and tons of steroids if they want, or they could stay natural if they want. I always say, you want to be totally, totally healthy and do bodybuilding the healthiest way possible, don't do steroids. Do not touch steroids. If you're older and your testosterone levels have legitimately dropped below normal, go see a doctor and get just enough to put you in a normal range. I don't advocate blasting steroids. I'm not pro-steroid. I'm pro-truth. It's a choice people make. You can agree with it or disagree with it. That is up to you. You are fully entitled to your opinion. But again, any of you who want to use tons and tons of steroids, I say it's a free country. I don't know what country you're in. Maybe you're not in a free country, but it's up to you. That is your choice. So let's see if any of you have opinions on this, or if you just want to talk about some other random crap. Let's see what we got on the live, because that's why we do this. You're on Sport TRT. Well, I could use a lot of steroids if I wanted to. I have access to anything I want. Steroids aren't that expensive. I could be on 10 grams of steroids a week if I really wanted to. This is my dose for now. We're going to get my bloods done. We'll see what happens. I might use less. I doubt I'll use more, but the dose might come down. Pooh Bear. So you're on cycle. No, Joseph, a cycle? It's not a cycle. A cycle, for me, you see anything, here we go. Anything more than what you're using is a cycle, right? It's a cycle. No, I'm not on trend replacement therapy. That's TRT. That's a good one though. I might steal that. No, I've been on heavy cycles many, many times. This is nothing. I haven't really lost much because I'm not that big anyway. I'm holding a little over 220, 222. Good condition, not great. When the weather warms up, I'll probably drop a good 10, 12 pounds, eat a lot cleaner, do more cardio, get tan, just because I like to look good for the warm months. This is crap. Why do I got all these sneaker ads? So I gotta get rid of these sneaker ads. Here we go. So, Torres, you're in better shape now than most people in their 20s and 30s. Yeah, well, that's a sad statement, but it's true. I wish a lot more people took care of themselves. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to try to get huge. But I think everybody should exercise. Everybody, men, women, children, everybody should exercise. At least some weight training so you have bone density and some strength and certainly cardio. But everybody should be active. Nobody should just be sitting around all day eating and letting their bodies rot away. Nobody should do that. Everybody should work out some way, some kind of exercise. You look phenomenal. Thank you. Arturo Avalos. Hey, Ron, have you ever used HCG? Congrats on HRT move. No, I'm trying to get on HCG, and I'll be 100% transparent. The only reason I want to get on HCG is to see if my testicles, my balls, get back to what they used to be. I'm just curious. It doesn't really bother me that much how big my nuts are. I don't really care, but I'm just curious. And of course, semen volume has gone way down. When the testicles shrink down, that's where your semen is produced. I know it's stupid. It's so stupid and childish, but it bothers me that the volume is so much less than it used to be. That's the only. I'm not trying to get anybody pregnant. I had a vasectomy back in 2000. I'm not getting anyone pregnant anyway. So that's not what I need it for. But no, I've never used HCG. Robert House, are you on HGH as well? Yes. So that I have to do on my own until I can get it through them. I've been doing 2.5 units a day of an off brand, some underground brand. I've never used more than four IUs a day because it's expensive. I'm getting a good deal on it now from somebody, but it's still 2.5. I'm using it for keep the body fat down, just general collagen production, the fountain of youth. But no, it's a very small 2.5 IUs of GH is very close to a therapeutic dose. I think a therapeutic dose is considered 1 to 3 IUs. Anything beyond that would be considered excessive or abuse by anybody in the true medical community. Sounds like a natty dose. Yeah, see, everyone's got their own opinion. Some people, you tell them you're on 280 tests a week and 100 milligrams a deca, they'd be like, oh my God, you're going to die. That's a blast. Oh my God. Other people will be like, that's nothing. I know bikini girls will do more than that. See how relative it can be? Depends on your background. Appreciate the transparency. You're welcome, Joseph. I mean, if I can't be honest here, what's the point? Rep in Time Fitness, natty for life. Yeah, and you know what? I applaud that and be proud of your decision. Be proud of your decision. You're healthy. I've been very, very fortunate with my health. I haven't done, I've had all kinds of heart tests on a regular basis. I haven't done much damage to myself somehow. Just very, very lucky, even though I've been using steroids. I say on and off, but mostly on. There was a couple periods where I took a year off at one point, about a year, and then another time I took, Arnold in 2006. Another time I took almost 2 years off, but aside from that, since late 1996, like November 96, it's been pretty steady with only those two little breaks. Yeah, but natural bodybuilding is the healthiest approach. Like my son's natural. I don't think I need to say that. I think it's pretty obvious he's natural. He also has colitis. It's very difficult for him to put on weight. I was a lot heavier, a lot stronger at his age. I feel terrible. And I was natural. I was natural up until I was 27. It was a couple months after I turned 27 that I started using gear. He's 23. He'll be 24 in September. No plans on ever using gear. He's not a big kid. He's not huge, but he's got tiny little waist, broad shoulders, good abs, little peak biceps. He's getting some good quad sweep on him. That's from my genetics. Let's see. Reptile Fitness will never cross over, but I'm always interested in listening. Thanks. Yeah, I've noticed it's. I used to find it really strange that people who are natural wanted to hear about steroids and steroid use, but you know what? It's like I don't want to be a serial killer, but I like reading about them. I like watching movies and TV shows about them. It's fascinating to me. So yeah, I mean the use of performance enhancing drugs to change, especially as bodybuilders, the way we use it to enhance our appearance, it's fascinating because it's chemical warfare. It's better living through chemistry. It's whatever you want to call it, but it's pretty interesting the way these chemicals, these compounds, these hormones can change so many things. Other drugs that are used increase muscle mass, strength, decrease body fat, increase endurance. I mean, these drugs they're very powerful. It's funny. In the old days, I think 60s all the way up until maybe the 80s, the official stance of the medical community was that steroids did not work. They didn't produce any actual results. It was all placebo effect, which was a lie. I think they were just trying to discourage people from using them. I don't know. But I find that hilarious. A. Torres, how much attention and confidence do you get in the real world around non-gym people, like at the grocery store? Yeah, it's funny that I don't get much. When I'm in clothes, I'm not a huge guy. So in clothes, I don't look. There's nothing. People aren't going to be like, oh my God. But in the summertime or, whenever the weather's warmer and I'm tan and I get very lean and there's veins and things, that's when I start getting the compliments like that. The leaner you get, I think in general, people will notice you more. Like I remember, all these years, where did I get people coming up to me and asking me questions and saying things to me in the gym? It was usually when I was really lean. When I was all bloated and off season, people just left me alone. They're like, oh, look at that fat fuck. Look at that meatball. Rep in Time Fitness, I'd be always thinking about what if. Yeah, see Rep in Time, and that's fine. That's a big part of why I went on. I was working in the bodybuilding industry for 6 years already so I started working in bodybuilding in 91. at the age of 21 with the American Muscle Show on ESPN. I was around all the pros, all the best pros, all the top amateurs. And I was always wondering, what if I did steroids? Because I was natural. I was competing in natural shows, but I always wondered, what if? And, you know, I don't regret my decision. It is what it is. And I say that because I've been so fortunate. If I had had health problems, kidney, liver, heart, I'm sure my attitude would be very different. I'd probably be full of regret. I'd be like, oh, why did I do that? Obviously. But when you get away with something, as I've been very, very fortunate to not have any serious health problems at all from steroids, knock on the fake wood, yeah, no regrets. Let's see. Masters Olympia. Joseph, you look good. Will you ever consider doing the Masters Olympia? So first of all, you need to be a pro to do the Masters Olympia, and I am not a pro. Closest I ever came to a pro card was second place at the 2011 Team Universe heavyweights, but I still would have had to beat the light heavyweight if I'd won the heavyweights. Dave Coleman, who beat me, he went on to become a pro very shortly after that. I still would have had to beat the light heavy, who was a guy named Penex Penier. I'm sorry, Penex, if I'm messing your name up. To the Masters Olympia, and they have to accept your application because it's the Olympia. It's an invitation-only event, and it's in Romania. They're gonna pay everyone's expenses, the flight, the hotel, all that. So of course, it's not just anybody, and they want the best in that show. So no, I'm nowhere near eligible to be in the Masters Olympia. So Robert Nelson, I'm 46 and still thinking about TRT in the future. Yeah, Robert. I mean, it all depends on where you're at, what's your blood level. If you have high normal testosterone, you're good. And I know there are plenty of guys in their 40s, late 40s even, who still have pretty good testosterone production. You may or may not. I mean, if you would know if you're having fatigue, if you have a low sex drive, depression, there's a lot of classic low T symptoms that I think you would notice by now. And if you're not feeling any of those, then, I wouldn't worry about it. But in the future, if you need it, it's there. Why not take advantage of it? Why not? Rep and Time Fitness. I know guys with less knowledge and work ethic putting up crazy numbers, but pound for pound, I do great. Yeah, I was actually very strong when I was natural. Drugs made me a little strong, but I was always pretty strong on certain things like dumbbell presses, squats, rowing movements. So I know plenty of natural guys who are super strong. Obviously they'd probably be strong. They would be stronger if they went on drugs, but strength seems to be like a genetic thing. Like I was talking about my son, I was just a lot naturally stronger than he is. I can remember, I'm not going to compare the weights we use. I wouldn't do that to him, but I was just naturally a much stronger kid than he was. Some people are. Dane, when you're lean, people ask you, do you compete? Then I ask them, have you ever seen a bodybuilder? Our stove, do you detox? Have you considered it? I haven't done a detox. What's wrong with the audio? There's no sound? No sound? Huh. I don't know why there's no sound. I'm using my phone. It usually works pretty well. I don't know. No, I've never done a detox. I thought about it. Never have done. Nate Nelson Oliveira. Ron, what are your thoughts on Proviron? It's really good for increasing your free test levels. It is dangerous to your hair. So if you're worried about losing your hair, thinning hair and stuff like that, and especially if you have a family history of that, I would stay away from Proviron. But it will definitely boost your free testosterone, which is the available testosterone in your blood, which is just as important. It's more important than your total testosterone because it shows how much of the test is actually available. So that's what Proviron's best utilized for. Sounds good now. Thank you. Does your son wish he looked as good as you? He didn't know. No, he doesn't compete. He wants to do his first show. But you know what, guys? I'm going to have to call my wife. I'm going to come right back. I promise. I'm going to come right back. Be right back. Sorry.